cold winter. At a very dark midnight, while everyone would try to stay at home to keep warm and comfortable, Dr. Liao tried over 10 miles to an unfamiliar location to find a very distracted friend and help her to fix a flat tire. Dr. Liao was a friend in need. He is really a friend in need. The friend and her family, however, were very grateful for his concern of her safety. Dr. Liao, such kind of friendship and concern touches my heart. On Sunday evening, before he passed away, Dr. Hing and his wife, Dr. Sun Long Zhang and his wife, my wife and I, as well as all his family members were with him. He passed so suddenly and so unexpectedly. I wonder why was he was called back so soon. We will never see him again. We will miss him, however. We can no longer see him, his happy smile. We can no longer hear his delightful voice. Now we can only remember him as we, in memory of him, I wish he is happy and peaceful in the heaven. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Su. Is Carol Su here? Carol, excuse me. Carol came early this morning from Maryland, drove about 2.5 hours just for this occasion. She grew up in the same hometown as Hing in Taiwan, and has known the family ever since. So she likes to say a few words.
Dear Anna, Liao's family and friends, I'm Carol Xu, a family friend of Jin Hing's from his hometown, Yunlin, Taiwan. Even though many of you have been associated with Jin Hing for a long time, or may have known him much better than I do, I would like to share my story of being a Liao's family's friend with you. I actually knew Jin Hing's third brother earlier than I knew Jin Hing. I started writing a series of Taiwanese American stories in 1999. Richard Li Jing-san asked me to go to New York to interview Liao. Richard said he is a successful businessman in knitting industry. Even more important is that he has done so many good deeds among the friends and communities. He is a man full of love and passion, very well respected in the New York Taiwanese American communities. I called Mr. Liao in the mid-summer of 2000. Over the phone, he found out that I came from the same town as he did in Taiwan. Immediately following, "What is your father's name?" Right after I told him my father's name, he exclaimed, "Oh, he was my girlfriend 40 years ago when I was in Lunpei. You have got to be the New Yorker to see me. You know, I have been ill and hospitalized for more than a couple of weeks. Just come back from hospital. Please come. I'll treat you to a good meal. Ever since, Mr. and Mrs. Liao treat me like a family member. This sounds unbelievable, but a true story. 3 years later, Hing approached me at the Taiwanese American Conference in East Coast, which is abbreviated called TEDx. He asked me to help out in the program next year because he's going to coordinate the TEDx activities in 2004. Later in the talk, he said, "You wrote the story about my brother. It's very nice and interesting." "Who is your brother?" I asked. "Liao of New York." "Oh, yeah," I looked at his face again, exclaimed, "You look like your brother, except you are much younger." "Oh, yes, we are several years apart," he said with a big smile in his face. He's the third, and I'm the last one among our siblings." "Oh, 你统后面啊," I said, which means you are the most blessed one. "Oh, yes, I am," he admitted. He said, "I admit I'm the luckiest guy in my family." Actually, I have never been Liao's family in Yunnan. I just assumed he came from the farming families because I know his hometown, Hing, is a farming village near Sailey. In that area, the farming family usually raises many kids. The eldest one usually stays home to farm the land and let the rest of siblings go to school. Once one did well in school, the youngest one follows. And as soon as one started working, he or she will usually contribute their earnings to help family to meet the ends. The youngest one, therefore, received all the cares from the family members. I only assumed Hing's family is similar in the way, so called him the luckiest guy. I might be wrong, but he admitted with joy. We chatted like old friends, simply based on the fact we came from the same town and background. I sensed that Hing has a kind of the temperament, which is one associated with the land he came from. He and his brother apparently are very diligent, friendly, passionately, and humble. And those are the characters of the people came from that simple and pure farming villages. And since that meeting, I have had more than a couple of occasions to work with Hing on TEDx projects. The latest one is editing the TEDx 40 Years Special Edition. As board members of TEDx, Hing and Pobon invited me to write a series of interview articles on the editors of the TEDx for the past 40 years. We met at Alice Yang's home last fall for discussing this project and kept constant communication with each other by emails. The TEDx has been the largest annual Taiwanese American conference ever since 1970. Every summer, hundreds or even thousands of Taiwanese Americans in East Coast get together to enjoy this 4-day and 3-night conference. Many volunteers has participated in this conference. Hing was the coordinator of the 2004 coordinator. He has also been the staff, secretary, treasurer, vice coordinator of TEDx in the previous years. During our interview, he told me, whenever the Pennsylvania and the Delaware Taiwanese were in charge of TEDx, he usually worked on TEDx staffs till midnight, almost every night, in about 3 months in a row. He said, while the Taiwanese pioneers like my brother developed their career and established their own families in this new land, they were also trying to build a big Taiwanese American community, like big families here. They set up good examples by providing some good services to help others. We just follow their footsteps and keep on moving. Our project was also progressing. One day, at the middle of February in this year, I received an email from Hing. Instead of a talk about TEDx articles, he wrote that he just went through a thorough examination in the hospital and had been diagnosed having lung cancer. He also added that he felt in the silence his life has been shortened by 10 years. However, compared to those who passed away at their 50s, he is satisfied of living to 65. Through his medical treatment in LA and beyond, Hing sent us emails with his updated pictures once in a while. He kept his positive attitude. He keep on saying he was good as before. I later learned that Hing is very well liked by the people, by the Taiwanese in the Philadelphia areas. He has been thought for as a caring and giving person, the one with the positive and optimistic attitude. Those good qualities might be of his nature, might be came from his family traits, might be rooted from his early childhood in that lovely island of Asia. Hing's illness and his death has been shocking me a lot. Only a few years ago, I went to New York to say goodbye to his third brother, and today I'm here to say goodbye to him. There is no doubt in my mind that Hing's patience, love, and generosities will be missed by his families and friends. I also know the memory of his love to Taiwanese communities and his laughter will brighten my life. I thank all of you for giving this opportunity to say some parting words to Hing and express my condolences to Liao's family. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.